When I first saw it, I thought that this was a US-made, very advanced next-generation fighter, and in fact that this would explain all the UFO sightings.
When a flawless metallic sphere was reportedly unearthed near Buga, Colombia, its surface cold and seamless under the tropical sun, the story might have ended as just another internet myth. But when the name Bob Lazar, the man who, in 1989, claimed to have studied alien propulsion systems at a secret Nevada base, entered the conversation, curiosity turned into collective obsession. Could the mysterious orb mirror the same impossible technology Lazar once described? Well, rumors are that Bob Lazar has just decoded the Buga Sphere, and what he found changes everything. Let's get started. The Buga Sphere Mystery. In late October 2025, a wave of online speculation began to circulate around a purported discovery near Guadalajara de Buga, a city in the Valle del Cauca department of southwestern Colombia. The story centered on a seamless metallic sphere found in a rural area outside Buga. The object was said to have been discovered by local farmers after a loud metallic thud was heard in a rural area approximately 10 kilometers southwest of central Buga. Witnesses described finding a smooth metallic orb roughly 1 meter in diameter, half buried in soft soil near sugarcane fields. Several people who claimed to be from the region said that the object emitted no detectable heat, vibration, or light, and that it was cool to the touch despite appearing metallic. Reports also claimed the sphere bore engraved, repeating symbols resembling geometric patterns, though no verified photographs or samples were provided. Within hours of the first viral upload, users on Colombian Facebook groups such as Buga Informa and Noticias del Valle del Cauca began reposting still images from the video. But the mystery was just getting started. Buga, officially named Guadalajara de Buga, is a city of approximately 120,000 residents located along Colombia's Pan-American Highway, about 74 kilometers northeast of Cali. It is one of the country's oldest cities, founded in 1555, and is historically known for religious tourism centered around the Basilica del Señor de los Milagros. Yet, in late October 2025, the city made headlines for an entirely different reason: the discovery of a perfectly spherical metallic object in the sugarcane fields just outside town. Local reports claim that farmers first noticed a faint shimmer glinting through the morning fog, lying partially embedded in soft, damp soil near the banks of the Buga River. Witnesses described it as about 1 meter in diameter, its surface flawless, cool to the touch, and unlike any industrial object they had ever seen. According to several social media accounts and early videos posted on YouTube, the sphere appeared to defy conventional expectations. No welds, seams, or fasteners were visible, giving it the appearance of a single, cast piece of metal. When observers attempted to scan or measure it with handheld electromagnetic devices, their instruments malfunctioned. Some claimed compasses spun uncontrollably near its surface, while nearby drones failed mid-flight. The sphere emitted no heat or sound, yet under low light it seemed to glow faintly, reflecting the golden morning sun with a subtle bluish sheen. People who approached it noted an almost magnetic repulsion. Word of the sphere's discovery spread rapidly through local radio, small news outlets, and eventually global social media. By October 29, 2025, the story had reached international audiences. Some even went as far as to suggest that it contained alien machinery or encoded messages, citing the strange symbols etched into its metallic surface. Yet, no physical analysis or laboratory verification had been conducted, and the Colombian government, including the Valle del Cauca police and Aerocivil, made no official statements regarding the sphere. Despite the lack of official confirmation, scientists, UFO enthusiasts, and social media sleuths attempted to recreate its metallic sheen using local alloys, while others tried to measure the reported electromagnetic anomalies with portable meters, though results remained inconsistent. The Buga Sphere has rapidly captured attention due to its seamless metallic surface, engraved symbols, and unusual energy effects. This places it within a historical continuum of enigmatic spheres that have fascinated both scientists and the public. Notable comparisons include the Klerksdorp spheres from South Africa, small mineral spheres formed naturally in pyrophyllite over millions of years, and the Betz sphere from Florida, a metallic object whose seemingly autonomous motion was eventually explained by minor imperfections in its shape. Unlike the Klerksdorp or Betz spheres, the Buga Sphere has not been subjected to independent scientific analysis. Reports suggest it measures roughly 1 meter in diameter, though there is no agreement on the size, with a flawless metallic exterior and glyph-like markings, and it is associated with electromagnetic anomalies and the absence of heat emission. Yet, no laboratory tests, metallurgical analyses, or peer-reviewed studies have verified these claims, and existing images and videos are either low-resolution, repurposed, or digitally manipulated. Its location in rural Colombia and the absence of formal investigation leave open numerous possibilities: a natural anomaly, an industrial artifact, or an entirely fabricated story. While visually and thematically reminiscent of previous unexplained spheres, the Buga Sphere's status is unresolved. But the mystery does not end here. Bob Lazar's documented claims. Robert Scott. Bob Lazar first entered public consciousness in May 1989 when he appeared in a series of televised interviews conducted by investigative reporter George Knapp for KLAS-TV, Channel 8, a CBS affiliate in Las Vegas, Nevada. In those interviews, Lazar, who at the time claimed to be a physicist and propulsion engineer, alleged that he had been employed by the US government at a highly secret installation known as S4, situated several miles south of the better-known Area 51 at Groom Lake. According to Lazar, S4 was not a conventional research facility, but a compartmentalized site dedicated to reverse engineering 9 recovered extraterrestrial craft. His televised testimony was initially broadcast anonymously under the pseudonym Dennis to protect his identity, but he later chose to reveal his real name, sparking one of the most enduring controversies in modern UFO history. Lazar stated that he was recruited to S4 in the late 1980s through a contractor he identified as Egerton, Germershausen, and Greer, a company known to have worked extensively with the US Department of Energy and the Department of Defense. He claimed to have undergone background checks at Los Alamos National Laboratory before being transported to the S4 site, located within the Nellis Air Force Range in southern Nevada. There, he said, he was assigned to a team tasked with analyzing a propulsion system of non-human origin. According to his account, S4 was built into the side of a mountain near Papoose Lake, featuring 9 connected hangars camouflaged to blend with the surrounding desert terrain. He described the craft housed within as metallic, disc-shaped vehicles roughly 30 to 40 feet in diameter, each with a central dome and no visible seams, rivets, or weld lines. From the outset, Lazar's educational and professional background was called into question. He claimed to hold master's degrees in physics from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and in electronics from the California Institute of Technology. Investigations by journalists and researchers, however, found no records of his attendance or graduation at either institution, and both universities denied having any record of his enrollment. Lazar also asserted that he had worked as a physicist at Los Alamos National Laboratory, a claim disputed by laboratory officials, though a 1982 article in the Los Alamos Monitor newspaper did refer to him as a physicist during his time operating a jet-powered Honda automobile. Lazar's technical descriptions of the alleged alien propulsion system remain the core of his claims. He stated that the craft he examined operated not on conventional fuel or chemical thrust, but through a gravity wave amplifier. This device, he said, generated and controlled gravitational fields for propulsion by manipulating what he called gravity A waves, a theoretical component of gravity at the subatomic level. At the heart of this system, according to Lazar, was a small reactor powered by an exotic element unknown to mainstream science at the time, which he identified as element 115. In 1989, No such element existed on the periodic table. But his claims gained traction years later when the element was officially synthesized decades later in 2003 by a team of Russian scientists at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Dubna and confirmed in 2015 under the name moscovium. Lazar maintained that the isotope he worked with was a stable version of element 115, far more advanced than the short-lived laboratory-produced form that decays within milliseconds. He described the reactor as a compact, metallic half-sphere mounted on a flat base approximately the size of a basketball, producing a powerful gravitational field when active. When the device operated, Lazar said, it emitted a faint bluish glow and created a distortion in the space around it, bending light and appearing to shift perspective, an effect he compared to looking through water. He claimed that when he attempted to approach the active reactor, it generated a repulsive force that physically prevented him from touching it, much like two magnets pushed together at the same poles. Instruments brought near the craft, he said, malfunctioned due to interference from the gravitational field. He further alleged that the craft could alter the orientation of its amplifiers to fall toward a distortion it created in space-time, allowing it to accelerate instantaneously without inertia. Inside the craft, Lazar reported, the interior appeared minimalistic and devoid of conventional controls. He described metallic seats molded for occupants shorter than average humans and a set of control panels engraved with raised, hieroglyphic-like symbols that glowed faintly when the craft was powered. The overall structure, he said, seemed to be cast from a single piece of metal, what he called a single-element construction, with smooth transitions between walls, floors, and ceilings. No screws, welds, or fasteners were visible, and the material felt cool to the touch despite the apparent energy being produced. Lazar concluded that the design principles of the craft represented a complete departure from known human engineering practices. In addition to his technical claims, Lazar asserted that the US government maintained strict secrecy over the S4 program, threatening employees with severe consequences for breaches of confidentiality. He described extensive security protocols, compartmentalized access, and intimidation tactics meant to prevent whistleblowing. According to Lazar, he was dismissed from the program after security personnel discovered he had brought friends to observe test flights of the craft from a nearby vantage point. He said these test flights occurred on Wednesday nights to coincide with low radar traffic over Groom Lake, and that the craft demonstrated silent, erratic movements inconsistent with aerodynamic flight. Footage of alleged nighttime lights over Area 51, filmed by Lazar's acquaintances, later circulated widely, though no definitive link to the objects he described was ever established. Lazar's story influenced public perception of Area 51 and became a foundational narrative within UFO culture. His claims helped popularize the notion of secret US programs dedicated to back-engineering alien technology, contributing directly to a wave of documentaries, books, and films exploring such themes throughout the 1990s. The secrecy surrounding Area 51 itself was officially acknowledged by the US government only in 2013, when CIA documents released under the Freedom of Information Act confirmed the site's existence as a testing ground for aircraft such as the U-2 and SR-71. In 2018, filmmaker Jeremy Corbell released the documentary Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, featuring new interviews with Lazar and George Knapp. In these discussions, Lazar reiterated his earlier testimony, insisting that he had no financial motive and had suffered professionally due to his whistleblowing. The documentary drew renewed attention to the case and introduced it to a younger audience through streaming platforms. In the decades since 1989, Bob Lazar has largely retreated from public life, operating a scientific supply company in Michigan called United Nuclear. He maintains his original story without alteration and asserts that he gained nothing but scrutiny from coming forward. While mainstream science dismisses his claims as unsubstantiated, the cultural footprint of his testimony is undeniable. The image of a small, seamless metallic disc powered by a gravity reactor, fueled by element 115, has become an enduring symbol of the UFO era. In June 2019, Lazar appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, where he expanded on technical aspects of his claims to an audience of millions. During the interview, he again described the alleged reactor's gravity A-wave function and repeated that stable element 115 served as the fuel source. So how does all of this connect to the Buga Sphere? Points of conceptual or thematic overlap. There is a clear overlap between Lazar's earlier claims and the patterns of description, the aesthetics of impossible metal, and the suggestion of a self-contained technology that defies ordinary engineering logic. The Buga Sphere, first reported online in October 2025 from the outskirts of Buga, Valle del Cauca, Colombia, was described as a perfectly smooth silver-grey sphere roughly 1 meter in diameter. Witnesses in local news interviews and online forums said there were no seams, bolts, or welds visible on its surface, giving it the look of poured metal frozen mid-flow. This image closely echoes Bob Lazar's 1989 account of a small disc-shaped craft he claimed to have worked on at a facility known as S4, near the Groom Lake Test Range in Nevada. Lazar said that every surface of the craft was similarly smooth and integral, as if it had grown rather than been assembled. Both the Buga object and Lazar's description share this impossible fabrication quality. Engraved markings or glyphs further connect the two. Eyewitnesses who claim to have examined or photographed the Colombian sphere described faint, repeating lines and symbols incised across portions of its surface. Some compared them to geometric runes or to microscopic circuit traces, though no sample or verified close-up image has been released. In his 1989 and 2019 interviews, Lazar spoke of embossed symbols along the control consoles of the craft's interior, raised slightly above the metal surface and without visible paint or carving marks. He said the symbols were almost part of the material itself. Energy effects form another point of convergence. According to Lazar, the propulsion of the S4 craft was based on a gravitational amplification system. He claimed that the reactor used a stable form of element 115 to produce a controlled gravity wave, which could bend light and affect surrounding electromagnetic fields. In multiple interviews, he recounted that proximity to an active reactor caused instruments to malfunction and created a visible distortion in the air. Similarly, reports from Buga included claims that compasses spun uncontrollably and that drone batteries discharged unusually fast near the sphere. A local technician, quoted by a regional radio station, said electromagnetic interference prevented standard metal composition scans from functioning within a 5-meter radius. Lazar also asserted that the gravity reactor emitted a dim blue-white glow when active, a byproduct of space-time distortion around the core. In several viral videos circulated in November 2025, the Buga Sphere appeared to reflect a pale internal light under low illumination conditions. Analysts have suggested this was merely the effect of camera sensors adjusting exposure. Yet the visual coincidence reinforces the pattern of energy without heat, an aesthetic common to both legends. Institutional secrecy is another recurring element that links the two stories thematically. Lazar's initial interview on Las Vegas television in May 1989 alleged that the United States government maintained strict compartmentalization within its research programs, threatening employees who disclosed information about extraterrestrial technology. Following his broadcast, official agencies issued no public acknowledgement of his claims, but the topic became a defining moment in Area 51 folklore. The Buga incident, as documented across Spanish language and English language media posts, followed a similar trajectory. Within 2 weeks of the first reports, accounts circulated that unidentified government vehicles had entered the region and removed the object under heavy security. The Colombian Air Force and National Police denied any such operation, and no formal statement appeared in public records. This perceived suppression amplifies the mythic continuity between the two narratives. Lazar's reactor, powered by a then unknown element, represented the idea of a compact, autonomous energy source, a self-contained engine capable of bending gravity. The Buga Sphere has been interpreted as either a detached component of such a system or an artifact built on the same principles. Commentators have proposed that it could function as a containment vessel, an energy core, or even a dormant probe. Most notably, Lazar's claims about element 115 predated the laboratory synthesis of the real element moscovium by more than a decade. Moscovium was first produced in 2003 at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Dubna, Russia, and officially recognized by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry in 2016. The persistence of such parallels also reflects the structure of UFO mythmaking. Lazar's account established narrative benchmarks: a secret government facility, recovered craft, seamless alloys, and non-thermal power that subsequent stories naturally mirror. The Buga Sphere narrative reproduces these motifs almost point for point, whether through deliberate imitation or coincidence. In both cases, the object serves as a symbol of human limitation, an artifact that exists within sight but beyond comprehension. When viewed together, these facts trace the evolution of a mythic continuum that extends from the Nevada desert of 1989 to the Colombian lowlands of 2025. Both the Lazar narrative and the Buga Sphere reports revolve around objects defined by precision and opacity, artifacts that seem engineered to confound analysis. Each instance reactivates the same scientific and cultural questions. How could such seamless structures exist? What power source could operate without heat? And why would any government conceal them? The factual record answers none of these, but it clearly documents how such motifs propagate. So, what is the Buga Sphere? Well, for now, we don't know, but maybe one day we'll have a much better understanding of it and others like it. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? If you did, please consider liking, dropping a comment, and hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on our new uploads. Also, don't miss